talking to the ceiling again, running through every moment, wondering where it all went. I don't need your pity, I just need you to understand that the person I pretend to be ain't who I am. These walls know every secret I've been keeping inside, every fear I've been swallowing, every tear I've denied. 3 a.m. confessions, nobody's listening, just me and all the versions of myself that keep visiting. 3 a.m. confessions, I lay it all out, every doubt I've been carrying, every battle I fought with doubt. I built this armor piece by piece to get through the day. Smiled at everyone around me while I'm falling away. The loudest rooms felt loneliest, I don't know how that works. Some wounds don't show from the outside, but God, do they hurt. If you found this in the morning, please don't look at me different. I was just being honest for the first time in a minute. 3 a.m., 3 a.m. Just me being honest for once. After the static, that's when the signal comes through. After the season of noise, you stop mistaking for truth. I spent a long time tuning in the frequencies of doubt, amplifying every fear until it drowned the good out. Then one ordinary Tuesday, something shifted in the air. Not a revelation, more like realizing I was there, present in my own life for the first time in a while. Not performing, being okay, actually okay for a mile. After the static, the music's still playing. After the storm, the ground is still staying under my feet. I remember how to feel. I don't know exactly when the weight began to ease. Think it started when I stopped demanding guarantees. Started trusting that the next thing didn't have to be the best, just the next thing, that was all. I'd handle the rest. Call my people back, said what I've been meaning to say. Showed up to the things I've been avoiding day by day. Not healed, not fixed, but moving through with open hands. After the static, I'm beginning to understand. After the static, the music's still playing. After the storm, the ground is still staying under my feet. Solid, real. After the static, I remember how to feel. Yeah, the static wasn't wasted. I learned what I need. Learned the difference between surviving and moving with speed. Learn to let the signal break before I force it clear. Learn that after every static, something worth hearing appears. So I'm not afraid of the noise like I was before. I know what's waiting on the other side of it now. I know the music's still there. After the static, I came through, I'm here. After the distance, the signal is clear. Under my feet, solid, real. After the static, this is how healing feels.
Yeah. Yeah, I keep an archive of every version of myself. Old photos in a box on the bottom shelf. The kid who thought the world was simple and would unfold. The teenager who traded innocence to appear bold. Archive, every version I've been. Archive, every place I never gone back to again. I keep them all filed under who I used to be, so I know exactly how far I've come to reach me. There's a folder labeled failures, it's the thickest one. A folder labeled almost right next to never done, but there's a new one I've been feeling labeled still becoming, and the pages keep on turning and the story keeps on running. I don't delete the old files, I just move them to a drawer. The past isn't something to erase, it's something to be grateful for. Archive, still out into it.
That's the whole point. That's the whole point.
I write everything in blue because black feels too final. The words I keep unfinished and the margins are the vital ones, the real ones, the ones I haven't sent. Blue ink dries slower, gives me room for second thought and meant. Blue ink on white paper, everything I couldn't say out loud. Blue ink on white paper, the most honest version of me, no crowd. I got notebooks full of letters addressed to no one or everyone, I haven't decided which one. Some mornings I read them back like reading someone else's life. Surprised at how much pain fits neatly between lines. The unsent letter is its own kind of healing. You don't always need the other person to receive it. Sometimes writing it is the whole thing. Sometimes the page is the only one who needs to read it. Blue ink, blue ink, still writing. Blue ink, still meaning every word. Still writing. Still writing. Yeah. We all living. Yeah. We all living on borrowed time, paying rent to the clock. Every second that passes is a second we don't get back. I used to spend it carelessly like the supply was endless. Now I guard it like the treasure that it is, defenseless. Borrowed time.
Borrowed time.
We came with nothing, we leave the same. Borrowed time.
Borrowed time.
What
did you do with it? What's your name? My grandfather worked until his hands were geography. Rivers of labor mapped across his palms for me. I hold that in my chest when I'm about to waste a day. His borrowed time bought mine, I can't throw mine away. The question isn't how much time you have, it's what you fill it with. Not the length of it, but the weight of it. Not the years, but how you live. Borrowed time. Use it well. Use it well.
I've been standing at the crossroads of two different lives. One where I stay, one where I went. Both feel like a disguise. The version that I chose keeps asking if it's right. The version that I didn't harm me differently at night. I don't regret it like a womb or like a weather shift. The kind that changes everything but doesn't come with grief. Just a slow grade wondering that hums beneath the day. Both directions look like forward, I just had to wait. Both directions seem like right. Both directions cost me something, that's the price. I chose the one that hurt less in the light, but both directions find me in the night. There's a city I almost moved to when I was 23. There's a person I almost called back who was calling out to me. I made the practical decisions, can't say they were wrong, but practical and right don't always play the same song. I'm doing well, genuinely, don't read this dark. It's more like standing in a gallery of paths, admiring the ones I didn't take for what they were. Beautiful and close, just beautiful and close. Both directions seem like right. Both directions cost me something, that's the price. I chose the one that hurt less in the light, but both directions find me in the night. Maybe choice itself is the illusion. Maybe every road leads somewhere true. Maybe both directions end up the same place, just with different views. I'm gonna stop revisiting the crossroads. Gonna let the unheld past go dark. Both directions made me who I'm standing as. And that part I hold in my heart. Both directions, I release them now. I made my choice and here's the how. I'll stop meeting myself in roads not taken at night. Both directions were a gift, I'm finally alright. There's a season for everything. The book says I believe it, but nobody warned me about the season you can't leave. The carry season, where you hold everything for everyone and pray that someone somewhere notices you're barely done. Carry season, carry season, I've been holding everything up for so long. Carry season, carry season, I forgot that I was also someone's soul. Put me down for a minute, let me put myself down. I've been everyone's everything while I was losing my ground. I smiled through every breakdown, showed up through every low. Never let them see the seams where all my holding starts to go. Strong is not the absence of needing to be held. Strong is asking for it even when it's hard to tell. Set it down, set it down. Not forever, just tonight. Set it down. You're allowed to not be alright. Season, setting it down just for tonight.
Dry season, nothing growing, nothing green. Running on the version of myself that used to mean something to the people I kept letting down. Smiling through the dust storm of a drought town. Work the same commute, the same fluorescent hum. Pretending to be present when I'm mostly numb. Everyone around me got their reasons to be fine. I got mine, just buried deeper down the line. Dry season comes around without a warning sign. You don't notice till the cracks run through your baseline. Rain's coming, it always does. It just don't feel that way when you're standing in the middle of a waterless day. I stopped reaching out because I ran out of words. Not from lack of feeling, from too many unheard. You can only say I'm struggling so many ways before the language wears itself down to a haze. So I show up, clock in, hold the weight, laugh at the right moments, leave before it's late. Not dishonest, just economical with pain, saving up the real stuff for when I'm alone again. Dry season comes around without a warning sign. You don't notice till the cracks run through your baseline. Rain's coming, it always does. It just don't feel that way when you're standing in the middle of a waterless day. I've been here before and I came back. Dry don't mean dead, it means compressed, it means compact. Beneath the cracked surface, something's holding on. Roots go deeper in the drought, that's how they get strong. So I stay in it, don't run, don't numb it out. Dry season ends, that's what the dry season's about. Dry season lifting, I can feel it in the air. Cracks are still there, but the weight is easier to bear. Rain don't erase the drought, it just makes things grow. Dry season made me something I didn't know. I make a wish at 11:11 out of habit more than hope. Like maybe if I say it to the universe, it'll cope with everything I've been too proud to actually say out loud. I've been drowning in the quiet, but performing for the crowd. Smile so automatic, it don't even reach my chest. Been carrying this weight so long, I forgot what it's like to rest. 6 months since I felt like I was actually okay, but I still make the wish at 11:11 anyway. 11:11 and I'm wishing on the same thing. Wishing I could tell you what this silence does to me. 11:11, same time, same wall. I don't know if anyone is listening at all, but I keep wishing
I keep wishing. I called my best friend on a Tuesday afternoon. He asked me how I'm doing, I said fine, he said you sure? And something almost broke right there, almost let it through. But I swallowed it and told him I was tired, nothing new. That's the thing about the people who know us, they can tell when the words are just a ceiling and we're living in the basement of ourselves. He didn't push, I didn't share, we talked about the game. And I hung up feeling lonelier, but also more the same. 11 and 11 and I'm wishing on the same thing. Wishing I could tell you what this silence does to me. 11, 11, same time, same wall. I don't know if anyone is listening at all, but I keep wishing. I keep wishing. What if the wish already came true and I just couldn't see it through the fall? What if the thing I keep asking for is something I already got? What if the universe been answering and I've been too closed off to receive? What if 11-11 isn't magic? What if it's just me choosing to believe? 11 and 11 and I'm wishing something different now. Wishing I'd be honest when somebody asks me how. Oh, 11-11, one last wish tonight. I wanna let somebody in before I lose the light. Keep wishing, I'll keep trying. I think I'm finally ready to answer when you ask. Took the pictures off the wall when you left. Now I got empty frames and nothing but the memory of breath. The dust outlines where the good times used to hang. Strange how absence has a shape. Strange how silence has a name. Empty frames on empty walls, echoes of the laughs down empty halls. I keep them up because the spaces mean you were here. Empty frames, the most honest things in here. I tried to fill them back with something new, but every frame I hold up somehow still fits you. Maybe grief is just a shape that love leaves behind, the negative space of someone living in your mind. I don't wanna take them down, I don't wanna move along. I wanna hold the shape of it a little longer than I should. Empty frames, still the most honest things I own. Yeah. December in the passenger seat, going nowhere fast, watching the world blur by behind the glass. The heat of broken breath fogging up the view. That's the clearest metaphor I have for me and you. Fog windows, fog windows. Can't see out, but the cold still gets in. Fog windows, fog windows. I keep drawing your name and wiping it again. I
I've been poetic about pain for so long, it's become the language that I use when I don't know where I'm from. Jazz chords under everything because life don't resolve. It just changes key and keeps going while you dissolve. Clarity comes in winter when everything is stripped down bare. I finally see the structure of a life I thought I didn't care for. Windows, I drew your name again, wiped it again.
Every now and then I need a gravity check to make sure I'm still grounded and my ego's in check. Success does something to the altitude of your thought. You start floating past the lessons that you originally sought. Gravity check, gravity check. Am I still who I said I'd be? Gravity check, gravity check. Am I still close enough to me? I've been moving at the speed of what the culture demands, forgetting that the culture doesn't know what I planned. The version of me that started this was hungrier and true. I owe it to that version to stay honest and new. Pull me back down to the questions, pull me back to the why. The higher I get without roots, the further I fall when I fly. Gravity check, 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 check. Still grounded, barely, but still. Plastic chairs and fluorescent light at 2 in the morning. The vending machine hums like it doesn't know what's happening. I've been sitting here for 6 hours, staring at a door, praying in the language I forgot how to use before. Hospital waiting room, where time stops being real. Hospital waiting room, where everything you feel gets stripped down to the bone. You realize what you trade to not be sitting here alone, afraid. The doctor came out speaking in a careful, measured tone. I heard every word but couldn't carry them home. Something about stable, something about time, something about waiting. I just kept losing the line. In that room I made 1,000 promises to be better, to be present, to be there. In that room I understood exactly what I've been taking for granted everywhere. Hospital waiting room, they said she's gonna be okay. I cried in a bathroom stall for 20 minutes, and that was okay too.
I called the number that I grew up calling home. 3 rings, nobody answered. Guess I should've known. The landline's been disconnected since the house was sold. But muscle memory don't care about what you've been told. I doubted it twice a week, my grandmother passed. Looking for a voice that lives somewhere in the past. The jazz on the radio knew something I did not. Some frequencies keep playing long after the song has stopped. Landline, nobody's there, but I keep dialing anyway into the air. Some calls you make just to hear the ringing sound. Proof that something somewhere used to be around. Used to be around. I got her handwriting framed beside my desk at work. 3 words in cursive, took me years to make it hurt less. The loop she made on every G looked like a door to something I keep reaching back toward more and more. Memories, a landline to a house that's been torn down. You pick it up expecting warmth and get an empty sound, but even empty sound beats silence. So I call and let the ringing fill the room, that's all. Landline, nobody's there, but I keep dialing anyway into the air. Some calls you make just to hear the ringing sound. Proof that something somewhere used to be around. Maybe grief is just a number you keep saved but never call, until the night gets loud enough to dial it after all. It isn't weakness, it's just love looking for its way back in. The landline rings in empty rooms, and I let it ring again. Landline, she's not there, but the ringing still means something, still cuts through the air. Some love doesn't need an answer to be found, it just needs to know that you're still around.
There's a leftover light at the end of the hall, the kind of nobody turned off, nobody at all. It's been on since the party, since the last time we stayed up talking till the dark turned thin and the morning was made. I keep meaning to switch it off, keep forgetting to go. There's something about that leftover glow, like the night is still holding the shape of what was before the doing replaced all the being. Because leftover light in an empty room, enough to reach me, not enough to assume that everything is fine the way it looks from outside. Leftover light is just darkness that hasn't decided. I collect the ends of things the way some people collect the beginnings. Last bites, last songs, the last text before the silence that becomes the new normal sound. I keep the leftover light so the dark don't feel so loud. My neighbor leaves a porch light on for no one in particular, just habit or just kindness, both feel similar. Maybe that's what I am some nights, just a light left on for nobody, burning through the night. Leftover light in an empty room, warm enough to reach me, not enough to assume that everything is fine the way it looks from outside. Leftover light is just darkness that hasn't decided. What if I'm the leftover light? What if I'm the one nobody asked for but stayed? What if burning soft and steady in the empty is exactly what the season needs to be made? I'll stop apologizing for the glow, I'll stop waiting for someone to switch me off. Leftover light is still light, and light, even leftover, is not lost. Leftover light, I finally let it be warm enough for me, that's enough, that's plenty. Everything doesn't need deciding tonight. I'll just be the leftover light.
Yeah. 8:15 and the room feels wrong tonight. Everything's exactly where you left it, nothing right. Your jacket on the chair like it's still waiting to be worn. I keep adjusting to a life that's slightly torn. I rehearse what I say if you ever came around, but the draft stays unsent and the words stay underground. 6 weeks deep and I still set 2 cups out of habit, put 1 back. That's the part I don't talk about, damn it. I'm not falling apart, I'm just falling slow. Taking longer than I thought to let the feelings go. Every room still holds the shape of what we were. I'm not broken, I'm just blurred. I cleaned the apartment like it meant something new. Threw away the things that didn't, but I kept a few. The ticket stub, the photo from that night in late July. Couldn't tell you why I kept it, call it organized goodbye. My friends say time heals everything, they're probably right. But time moves different when the quiet hits at night. I'm getting good in mornings, evenings take some work. Still learning how to carry this without it being a hurt. I'm not falling apart, I'm just falling slow. Taking longer than I thought to let the feelings go. Every room still holds the shape of what we were. Not broken, I'm just blurred. Maybe I don't want it clean, maybe some things should leave a mark. Maybe blurred is just a phase between the falling and the start. I've been so afraid of staying stuck, I forgot that stuck means I still care. And caring about something real is the only proof that I was there. I'm not falling apart, I'm just learning how to land. Starting to see the shape of things I didn't understand. The room will find a different feel, the mornings will clear. I'm not broken, I'm just here.
Yeah. I got receipts for every time I said I was fine. Timestamps on every moment I was way out of line. I've been auditing myself, going through every year, tallying up the cost of everything I held near. The receipt don't lie, even when I do. Got a record of everything I put myself through. Relationships I ran from, opportunities I missed. Added up the hours I spent turning joy to a fist. The math don't add up pretty when you lay it all flat, but at least now I know exactly where I'm at. Forgiveness ain't forgetting, it's just closing the tab. Starting a new ledger with the best parts of what I had. Receipt, balance due, none. I paid it. I paid it. Yeah. Every day. Yeah. I've been running the tab on every time I held my tongue. Every conversation that I swallowed left my lungs full of things I practiced but could never find a door. Every almost honest moment I decided to ignore. The tab is long, itemized and dated, trust me. Every silence that I passed off as maturity. Every time I said I'm good when good was barely true. Running the tab on every version of me that I withdrew. Running tab, I gotta pay it soon. Running tab, it follows me from room to room. Every bit of truth I swallow gotta go somewhere. Running tab, and interest accumulates out there. Yeah, accountability's a thing I preach but dodge in practice. The gap between my values and my habits is a fracture. I know the theory show your work on what you do harder when the person you've been failing to is you. So I keep the ledger open, keep the running count of all the debts to myself I haven't settled yet amount. Do one honest conversation overdue by years. Running tab on all the things I owe my future self out here. Running tab, I gotta pay it soon. Running tab, it follows me from room to room. Every bit of truth I swallow gotta go somewhere. Running tab, and interest accumulates out there. But here's the thing about a tab, you can settle it, it doesn't own you. The debt's not who you are, it's just what you've been working through. I'm not the sum of what I owe, I'm the one who's choosing to pay. Running tab means I've been keeping score, and keeping score means I haven't walked away. Running tab, I'm closing it out now. Running tab, line by line, here's how. I say the thing, I show the work, I stay. Running tab, paid in full, starting today. Everything beautiful gets a little rust with time. The guitar in the corner, the relationships, the rhymes. I used to fear the patina, now I see it as proof that something was actually used beneath this weathered roof. Rusting gold, rusting gold. The most valuable things got a story to be told. Rusting gold, oh, rusting gold. Beauty ain't always polished, sometimes it's just gold. My father's hands were rusting gold, calloused and worn. Evidence of 40 years of keeping us from the storm. I used to want the new and shiny, untouched and clean. Now I want the thing that's been through everything I've seen. Don't polish out the marks, they're the whole point of the thing. The dents and the imperfections are what give the old bell its ring. Rust and gold, rust and gold. I choose the rust every time.
Saltwater in everything, to fool the air with tears. The ocean doesn't care how long you've been standing here. I walked into it fully clothed just to feel something real.
should try not to feel. Salt water heals what nothing else can reach. Salt water takes you somewhere beyond speech. Yeah, I've been standing at the edge of something I can't name. Oh, the ocean knows my frequency. It knows I'm not the same. My therapist says feel it, don't suppress it, let it flow. I've been building dams for years, I don't know how to let go. Standing in the Pacific, something loosened in my chest. The saltwater did what therapy suggested best. Maybe healing isn't quiet, maybe it sounds like waves. Maybe it looks like standing fully clothed, crying the ocean for days. Salt water, salt water, salt water. I finally let it go. Salt water. Salt water.
Yeah. Same old ceiling, staring back at 2 a.m. Same old spiral, I can set my clock to when it begins. Starts with one small thought and then it branches out like cracks. Suddenly I'm 5 years back, rewriting all the facts. I do this thing where I convince myself I'm fine all day. Then the lights go off and everything I pushed away comes floating back like it was waiting just outside the door. Same old ceiling, same old me, same old floor, same old ceiling. Got a map of all my doubts, knows my 2 a.m. knows what I can't talk about. I've been having this conversation with the dark too long. Same old ceiling, I need somewhere I belong. I made a list of everything I'm grateful for, it's real. Gratitude don't cancel out the harder things I feel. Both can be true and still I lay here wide awake, counting all the choices that were mine to make. The ceiling doesn't judge, I think that's why I talk to it. The dark's a good confessor when you need to work through it. I said some things tonight I haven't said out loud. Felt lighter after, maybe that's the point of being loud. Even when the audience is just the air above your bed. Even when the only ears that catch it are inside your head. Same old ceiling, got a map of all my doubts. Knows my 2 a.m. knows what I can't talk about. I've been having this conversation with the dark too long. Same old ceiling, I need somewhere I belong. What if I said it to a person instead? What if the ceiling wasn't the safest thing in my head? What if belonging isn't found in the quiet alone? What if I built it brick by brick and called it home? Same old ceiling, but tonight it feels different here. Said the thing I needed to for the first time clear. Maybe tomorrow I'll say it to someone awake. Same old ceiling gave me something I needed to take.
Inherited the hope. I grew up breathing secondhand smoke, literal and not. The things that damage the adults around me hit the spot that kids aren't supposed to reach, weren't supposed to see. But they don't ask permission, they just drift and become me. Secondhand smoke, secondhand smoke. I didn't start the fire, but I still choke. Secondhand smoke, secondhand smoke. Inherited the damage, inherited the hope. My father, silence was a secondhand thing too. I learned to go quiet when I didn't know what to do. Swallowed every conversation that should have been spoken. Now I'm learning how to say the things that kept me broken. The smoke clears eventually, but the lungs remember every cloud. I'm not mad at what I breathed in, I'm just trying to breathe out loud. Secondhand smoke. I breathe cleaner now, still learning how. Some growth don't happen overnight, it takes a season. You can't rush the thing that's coming for a deeper reason. I've been slow burning since the winter of my 20s. Didn't know that all the struggle was just building me. Slow burn season, slow burn season. Everything that's worth it takes a little longer. Slow burn season, slow burn season. I was falling apart just to come back stronger. Yeah. The flowers that bloom late bloom full of, that's a fact. Nature doesn't rush and neither does what's coming back. I water what I planted even when I can't see. Trust the roots are going somewhere underneath me. I stopped checking if I'm growing, started trusting that I am. Stopped performing for the audience, started being who I am. Slow burn season, still burning. That's the point. After everything, the turbulence, I needed a soft landing. A place to put my bags down without any more demanding. I found it in the quiet, found it in the slow, found it in the understanding that it's okay to go low. Soft landing, soft landing. After all this flying through the storm, soft landing, soft landing. Finally somewhere that feels like warm. I used to think that rest was just a pause before the grind. Now I think that rest is how you get to a better mind. The destination that I chased for all those runway miles was just a version of a Tuesday with more smiles. Land gently, land gently. You've been in the air so long. Land gently, land gently. Being grounded isn't wrong. So landing, I'm down.
Sunday mornings hit different when there's no one to wait. No reason to make coffee for two by mistake. The quiet used to scare me, now I'm learning to shape. Learning that alone and lonely aren't the same landscape. Sunday mornings hurt a little. Sunday mornings are the realest part. No distractions in the middle, just me and the quiet in my heart. I make the bed on my side, only habit I'm breaking slow. Put one mug out instead of two, progress I suppose. The sunlight still comes in the same and hits the same wall, but I'm learning to let beauty be beautiful after all. There's a version of Sunday mornings I haven't learned to love yet, but I'm sitting in them longer instead of trying to forget. Sunday mornings getting easier, getting easier. I took the long way home tonight, 3 extra miles, past the house I grew up in, past the last of my trials. The old oak's still there, the porch light still burns. Some things stay constant while everything turns. The long way home, the long way home. Sometimes you need the extra miles to feel less alone. The long way home, the long way home. Every detour taught me something I couldn't have known. Yeah. Past the school where I was nobody for 4 full years. Past the church where I first learned that adults have fears. Past the spot where I kissed someone I can't forget. Past the cemetery where the best of my people rest. The destination isn't always the point. Sometimes the walk is the whole thing. The long way teaches patience. The long way teaches everything. Long way home. Still walking, always worth it. Yeah. I got a folder full of unfinished drafts of me. Every version I abandoned mid-sentence incomplete. The one who was gonna be fearless by 25. The one who was gonna figure out how to thrive. Unfinished draft, unfinished draft. Maybe I was never meant to be complete. Unfinished draft, unfinished draft. Maybe the revision is the whole story's beat. They don't publish the drafts and it's probably wise, but mine are full of truth that the final version hides. The messy first attempts are where the real me lives. Before I knew what shape I was supposed to give. Every published version of a person is just a draft they chose to share. The private ones are just as valid. The unfinished ones are just as rare. Unfinished draft, draft, draft. Still writing. That means I'm still alive. Unfinished draft. I spend a lot of time in transit, never quite arrived. Between the who I was last year and who I am inside. The platform's always temporary, trains always late. I made a home of in between, became an expert at the wait. People watching at the station, everyone somewhere to be. Everybody's mid-transition, nobody told me that the journey is the residence, the moving is the state. That transit isn't the gap between, it's where I live these days. In transit, always between one thing and the next. In transit, finding who I am out in the flex. And it's okay, I don't need to be arrived today. In transit is still somewhere, I'm on my way. My father had a destination, planted roots and stayed. Built his whole identity around the choice he made. I used to think that looked like strength, now I'm not so sure. Sometimes the bravest thing is walking through a different door and leaving without knowing what the other side contains. Just trusting that the motion means more than what remains. So I pack light, I keep the window, watch the landscape shift. In transit is its own address, and it comes with its own gifts. In transit, always between one thing and the next. In transit, finding who I am out in the flex. And it's okay, I don't need to be arrived today. In transit is still somewhere, I'm on my way. What if I stop calling it waiting and start calling it moving through? What if the gap between the stations is where I finally come into view? Not lost, just unscheduled, not stuck, just taking the scenic line. And transit is just another word for still becoming. And I'm doing fine in transit, and I'm learning to love the ride in transit. Got more room now on the inside. It's okay, the destination's gonna meet me halfway. In transit, it's still living, I'm okay.
Visitor hours end at 8, I always cut it close. Sit beside the bed and try to say the things that matter most. But conversation gets polite when someone's in a gown. We talk about the weather like the sky might not fall down. I bring the same flowers every week, she said she likes the white. I act like next week's guarantee while sitting in the light of a room that smells like waiting, smells like managed care. Visitor hours end at 8, I'm always still right there.
Visitor hours,
I count them like they're all I've got.
visitor hours,
Saying everything is still saying not enough to fill the space that's opening up slow.
visitor hours,
And I don't wanna go. She asked me if I'm eating, I say yes, she didn't buy it. She still reads me like a first edition, I can't hide it. 50 years of watching me and she can see the seams where I'm holding things together by the thinnest dreams. I told her work was good, I told her I was fine. She said you sound like me when I was your age. Line, we both laughed. That's the thing about the hard rooms, sometimes the realest moments bloom in the saddest places.
visitor hours,
I count them like they're all I've got.
visitor hours,
Saying everything is still saying not enough to fill the space that's opening up slow.
visitor hours,
And I don't wanna go. I used to think that love was grand gestures, long speeches. Now I think it's showing up inside the visiting hours, sitting in the plastic chair and holding someone's hand, and not needing it to be more than exactly what it is. This is what devotion looks like, stripped of decoration, just presence, plain and patient. That's the whole thing.
visitor hours,
I'll use every single one
visitor hours,
until they tell me that we're done. I'll bring the white flowers, I'll sit in the chair
Visitor hours in.
but I was there.
Yeah. Woke up at noon with the blinds pulled down. City still moving, but I ain't around. Got 17 tabs open, none of them help. Talking to strangers, cause I can't talk to myself. This the weight of a Wednesday. Nothing special, nothing okay. I just needed somewhere to say that I'm tired in a way that sleep can't fix anyway. Mama called twice, I let it ring through. She worried if she knew what I was going through. So I tell her I'm good, tell her work's just a lot. She says I sound tired, I say yeah, I guess I'm not. Maybe tomorrow I'll figure it out. Maybe the version of me with no doubt is just one good night away. I keep telling myself, but the Wednesday keeps coming like it owns all my shelves.